In this video, we're hacking Alfred on TryHackMe. It's part of the advanced exploitation section on TryHackMe's offensive security learning pipeline right now. Let's go ahead and add this flag. And before we get too crazy ahead of ourselves and for educational purposes, let's learn what that flag does. The capital PN flag. So this flag basically just treats all hosts as if they're online, skips host discovery. Cool, that's what we need to know. So let's also go ahead and check our op directory just to make sure that we have Nashang downloaded. I'm pretty sure that we do, and yes we do, so that's great. So I'm gonna go ahead and stay in this directory because we'll probably need it here pretty soon. And here we got our scan results. So we got our HTTP server running, we got 3389, and we got another HTTP server on port 8080. So let's go ahead and browse to both web servers and just kind of see what's up. So here we got Alfred, Bruce Rain, and let's go ahead and jump to port 8080. And there we go, we got our Jenkins server. So let's go ahead and answer these questions. How many ports are open? We are seeing 3. There we go. Then what is the username and password for the online panel for this? So we've got the login portal right here for Jenkins, and it's asking for the username and password. Now you could always try the default credentials, which in this case is going to be admin. And wouldn't you believe it? Did that work? No way that worked. It's still loading, so we'll see. Looks like it worked. Admin. Unbelievable. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that in here. Admin. I bet they gave us admin access too. So we'll find a feature of the tool that allows us to execute commands on the underlying system. And then we're also going to need to put our reverse shell. And it actually gives us the command that we can use here. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to open up my text editor. We're going to go ahead and craft this to be what we want it to be. So the port that we want to open up for the reverse shell is going to be 4444. Our IP address 10.13.13.157 and Gucci Gang. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to this other directory. We're going to find the specific reverse shell that we need from Nashang, and that is going to allow us to get our access. So let's go shells. Let's look around in here. Invoke PowerShell PS1. Okay. So we're going to go sudo copy invoke PowerShell tcp.ps1. We're going to move that over. Yeah, and we're going to copy that over to our TryHackMe Alfred folder where we are operating out of. And then we're going to go ahead and jump over there. There it is. Okay. And now that it's here, we're going to go ahead and open up a Python web server. Python 3 module HTTP server. Let's put it on 4444. And we'll get that running. So we've got this right here. Invoke PowerShell TCP. Okay, let's go ahead and actually inspect this PowerShell too. So sudo nmap. No, sorry, excuse me. Sudo nano invoke PowerShell PS1. Let's see if it requires us to actually input the IP address at the end. I feel like it totally is though. Invoke TCP, yep, bind port. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try putting this at the very end of the script. And we're gonna do some goofing with it to make sure that it matches what we need. And then whenever we actually get going here, so we'll go 4040. I'm gonna change the IP address to match our actual IP address of 10.13.13.157. All right, and then let's make sure that that's not a space right here at the very start. I don't think that that is good. Let's go ahead and change that. Okay, so let's find what we need here. And let's see if this hint actually gives us anything. Okay, so configured tab under project options. So we got project. Let's jump over here to configure. And we got this menu here. And at the very bottom, we got commands that we can execute. Cool. All right, so that's where we are going to take this string that we have here. And we're going to put it in here. So since we got the web server already running, let's go ahead and set up our reverse shell. And then let's go ahead and save. And then let's see if we can build this script and see if we can get it to run. Give it a second. Maybe it's connecting, maybe it's not. Maybe we put the wrong port in, Bueller. So let's go through and parse our string here. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Didn't change the, be careful about copying and pasting, folks. You'll make the same mistake I just made. Gotta make sure we thoroughly read through it and put in all of our options. So with that, we'll go ahead and fix that. Let's jump back into the configure tab. Let's put in our updated string. Awesome. And then let's go ahead and save that and try to rebuild again. Maybe it'll work this time. Okay, so we got it. Here we go, and we got our shell. So here we are, we're here in Deer. We don't see anything, so let's just kind of see what all is going on. So let's see what the next question is. So we've got that. What is a user flag? Let's try to see if we can navigate to user. Dir. Let's go to user. Dir. We perhaps must be Bruce. So let's see if we can navigate into Bruce. Sure can. Let's go to desktop and let's check out user.txt, and that's our user flag. Awesome, so easy. That's like so legit. Awesome, so let's see about switching shells. So to make the privilege escalation easier, let's switch to a meterpreter session using the following process. Use MSF Venom to create a Windows meterpreter shell using the following payload. So let's go ahead and we'll pull this off the browser. Let's put this in our text editor and let's play around with this. So I'm gonna call this Bane. Actually, even better. No, I'm gonna call it Bane. That's good. It's pretty good. I'll port, let's see, let's go 4848 this time. Excuse me. We'll change the IP, 10.13.13.157. We got the encoder here, awesome, all good stuff. We're gonna wanna make sure we put, actually, you know what, we don't even need to, because in order for us to do this, we're gonna have to do this as root on this particular system. So let's go in here. We're gonna switch into our root and we're gonna go ahead and make this shell. And what we're basically doing is we're creating a payload that's going to start up a meterpreter session. Is encoded using Shikata Ganai. That is a popular encoder. And then we are going to switch to meterpreter. That's going to make PrivEsc a bit easier for us. Okay, so we got Bane right there. Now we're going to follow the same process that we just did. So let's go ahead and change up 4848. Let's go back here and we're going to, how do we want to do this? Oh, you know what? It actually, we don't even need to do that. I lied. For creating the payload data machine, and it gives us actually the string that we need to use for PowerShell in here. So let's go ahead and take that. We will copy it here and we will rename it Bane. Bane.exe. Bane.exe. Gonna need to change the port to where our Python server is, and then we want to make sure that we change our actual IP address to match ours. And I think that is all that we need to do there. Okay. So let's make sure that we got our netcat listener on here. So let's go 4848 because that's what our reverse shell is going to be looking for. Oh, you know what? Actually, I lied. We don't need to set up a netcat listener. We need to go into Metasploit. Sudo MSF console. So we're going to start up Metasploit. We're going to jump into, so let's search multi-handler. Use 5 options. So let's clear options. All right, let's go ahead and set lhost to our current IP. Let's set lport to the port that Bane will be looking for. Ah! There we go, got it. Let me go ahead and run this bad boy. Okay, cool. So that is officially listening. Let's jump back into Jenkins. Let's go down here to configure. Let's swap this out with our new string here. Let's go ahead and kill this job. So that way it will allow us to run this new one with the new code. What will happen, unfortunately, is we're going to lose this shell that we already had. We already know how to produce the shell, so that's fine. However, we lose the shell. Okay, so real quick before we dive crazy far in, basically what I had to do was I had to rerun the initial command. We lost the shell whenever I went in to plug the reverse shell bane.exe into the Jenkins server. So I reran the initial command that we started with to gain the initial shell, and from that initial shell, I'm going to execute bane.exe. So let's go start process bane.exe. And the reason that doesn't work is because I didn't set a payload. Silly goose. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and run this again, and we're going to try running Bruce again. Start process bane.exe. Excuse me, did I just call it Bane? I meant, or did I say Bruce? I meant Bane. So it looks like this is actually starting to work. And there we go. We got our meterpreter session. That's great. What is the final size of the payload? I think this should be the final size. We'll pull that out, plug it in. I don't think that's it. No. So in order for us to answer this question, you basically have to go back. It was 73802. That's basically the final size of the exe. That was back whenever we made the actual. That's whenever we made Bane, excuse me. So I should have written that down. That's a big oopsie on my part. Okay, so who am I? ID. Okay. Cool. Bane. Okay, so let's load PowerShell. In case we need to drop in. So basically, we're gonna go ahead and start with privilege escalation here. We're gonna go ahead and do some token impersonation. And we're gonna use, let's see here, let's read through this. Actually, and so in order to understand this, let me go ahead and read this for you. So Windows uses tokens to ensure that accounts have the right privileges to carry out particular actions. Account tokens are assigned to an account when users log in or are authenticated. This is usually done by lsas.exe. Think of this as an authentication process. The access token consists of user SIDs or security identifier, group SIDs or privileges. Among other things, more detailed information can be found on that link. You can click it. Should take you to a Microsoft site. There are two types of access tokens. There's primary access tokens and impersonation tokens. These are primary access tokens are associated with a user account that are generated on logon, and then impersonation tokens are they allow a particular process or thread to gain access to resources using the token of another client. For an impersonation token, there are different levels: security anonymous, security identification, security impersonation, and security delegation. Basically, this is just talking about impersonation tokens and some of the technical stuff behind it. So let's go ahead and look at who am I? Priv. We might need to drop into PowerShell. Shell. So let's drop into that. Who am I? Priv. All right. So here we get all kinds of cool stuff. So we see that two different privileges, set SE debug privilege. So let's find that right here. That is enabled for token impersonation. And then what's the other one? Set impersonate privilege, or SE impersonate privilege, and that's right here. Awesome. So let's use incognito mode. That will allow us to exploit this vulnerability and to enter load incognito. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of PowerShell. Let's load incognito. Can I spell? Load incognito. Man, spelling's tough, everybody. It happens. Okay. Please note you may need to use incognito command for the previous command if the previous command doesn't work. Okay, let's ensure that your Metasploit is up to date. So to check which tokens are available, enter the list tokens.g. So let's list tokens.g. Let's see if that works. Okay. Yep. Here we got the tokens, and here we got the impersonation tokens, and we can see NC Authority Network. That's good. That is very good. What is the output you run when you get the get UID command? So let's get UID. Server name is Alfred Bruce. What? Oh, you know what? That's why. Impersonate token. I'm gonna use built-in, and I know I could copy and paste from TryHackMe, but I'd rather just type it, just because I am terrible. Straight horse. I just like the reps. I like the practice of typing in the command whenever I'm learning something. So impersonate the token. All right, and then we will go ahead and do get UID. NT authority system, good. And just like that. I mean, it's that easy. That's like stupid easy. So even though we have a higher privilege token, we may not actually have the permissions of a privileged user due to the way that Windows handles permissions. So we need to ensure that we can migrate to a process with correct permissions. The safest process to pick the service.exe process. First use ps command. So let's do ps, and we're gonna do migrate. Which one did it list here? It listed something. We could do, what do we want to do? Is there a specific one we want to steal? Services.exe is the one that it mentions. So let's find services.exe. Services.exe. There it is, there it is, there it is. It's 668. Migrate 668. I think that's the right one. Haha, haha, yes. There we go. So we're gonna migrate. Migrating. Bueller. This is always suspenseful because it could not work. And then we goofed. We done goofed. Hey, there we go. So let's go ahead and list. Oh, that was dumb. Why did I list? That's gonna cloud everything. So anyway, we've migrated. We now have the permissions that we need. So let's go ahead and go to cd Windows System 32 config ls root dot. There it is. So more root.txt. Oh, of course it does. Okay, ls root.txt. What? Oh, I need a cat. I'm so silly. Root.txt. What a silly little goose I am. Okay, cool. There it is. Gucci gang. And so we plug that in, and there we go. We got it. We have rooted well, we did root Jenkins, but Alfred. We rooted Alfred. Alfred's dead now, thanks to us. Like this video if it was helpful. It's a pretty easy machine overall. Not a lot of issues. The main issue that I had on my initial run through of this machine was really just passing commands through Jenkins and making sure that I can maintain a shell, because of course after you get your initial shell, I don't think that I was being the most efficient by only passing commands through Jenkins when I could have just done it through my reverse shell. But you know, we live and we learn. You know, it's a process. Oh God. Anyway, yeah, like this video if it was helpful. Comment down below if you learned anything. I'll see you guys next time we hack something. Bye.